Hello dear students, greetings to all. Today we are going to discuss past tense and their uses. Let us begin with the first one, simple past tense. Simple past tense is used in completed actions. The simple past tense is normally used when we talk about events, actions or situations which occurred in the past and are now finished. When we use the simple past, we are not concerned with the duration of the action. Past tense is used to narrate the events, actions, or situations which may have happened recently or which may have happened in the distant past. For example, Eve left home a week ago. Akbar was a great king. Simple past tense is also used when a time reference is given or when the time reference must be understood from the context. For example, he finished his work yesterday. I saw him in the garden. That is when I was there. So dear students, an action which completed in the past tense must be expressed with simple past tense. So it is used to narrate the events or actions or situations. So dear students, we have to keep in mind that when we write the narrative composition, simple past tense or past tense must be used mostly. And also when we use a simple past tense, we have to mention the time. Usually we give the time reference with simple past tense. That's why it is written, you are left home a week ago, a week ago, or he finished his work yesterday. So yesterday, a week ago, these are the time references. So we have to use the time reference with the simple past tense. Simple past tense is also used without time reference to describe something that happened a very short time ago. If something happened in a very short time ago, then it can be explained or it can be expressed in simple past tense. For example, who left the door open? And also to describe the past habits, we use simple past tense. For example, he drank 10 cups of coffee a day still last month. So it was his habit to drink coffee, 10 cups of coffee per day. So it's a past habit. So in order to describe the past habits, we can use simple past tense. If we brief all the points, all the completed actions, narration of events, and past habits are expressed with the simple past tense. Let us go to the next tense, that is past continuous tense. It is used to describe or it is used to express the actions in progress in the past. The past continuous tense is used to describe past situations or actions that were in progress sometime in past. Renu was living abroad in 2004, so she missed the elections. If the action was in progress in the past time, then it is expressed with the past continuous tense. Often it is not known whether the action was completed or not. Suppose if you are not sure whether the action was completed or not, in such situations also we can use past continuous tense. For example, Rohit was working on his project last night. Last night he was working on that, but I am not sure or it is not clear whether he has completed or not. So if you are not sure about the completion of the action, then also past continuous can be used. Adverbials beginning with all emphasize continuity. In the same way, still can emphasize duration. So in order to emphasize the duration, we can use still, and all is used to emphasize the continuity. For example, it was raining all night or it was raining all afternoon. So in such cases, we are emphasizing on the continuity of the action. So such situations also we can use past continuous tense. Likewise, in the same way, still. Rekha was talking to her friend on the phone when I came in, and she was still talking to her when I went out an hour later. So that also shows the continuity of the action. Then it can be used past continuous tense. Actions which began before something else happened. So dear students, when we use past continuous tense, we can mention the time of this action with the help of another action. For example, just as I was leaving the house, the phone rang. Just As I was leaving the house, the phone rang. That means the past continuous and the simple past are often used together in a sentence. The past continuous describes a situation or action in progress in the past, and the simple past describes a shorter action or event to denote the time of the action. Let us see the next example. Shankar met Swami when he was living in Chennai. In this sentence, living in Chennai is a progressive action, that is continuing, and during that time he met Swami also. That means we can use both simple past and past continuous together in one sentence. Simple past can also be used to describe an action in progress, but the past continuous puts more emphasis on the duration of the action. For example, while I was fumbling for money in my purse, my friend paid the bus fare. So here simple past tense is used in the second part of the sentence, and that is denoting the action, and the continuity of this action is expressed or emphasized with the help of past continuous. That was, I was fumbling for money in my purse. Next one is parallel action. While I was mowing the lawns, my mother was cooking dinner. So two actions, both are in past continuous, and those both actions are happening together in a parallel way. So I was mowing the lawns, or I was cutting the lawns. Then during the same time, my mother was cooking dinner. So in order to express two actions which happened in the past and also which happened at the same time in a parallel way, we use the past continuous tense. Next one, repeated actions. When Shyam worked here, he was always making mistakes. It is something like a habit. So as per the meaning of this sentence, he had a habit of making mistakes. It was repeating. So for such cases also we can use past continuous tense. If the action was repeated in the past tense, it can be expressed with the help of past continuous tense. The next one, polite enquiries. We use of past continuous is more polite than the simple past. I was wondering if you could give me a lift. That means in order to ask a request, we consider past continuous tense as more polite than simple past. The next one is an alternative to the simple past. The past continuous can be used as an alternative to the simple past to indicate a more casual and less deliberate action. For example, I was walking with the dog this morning. It's not a deliberate action, but it is a casual action or a normal thing. So in order to express these actions, we can use past continuous tense. Let us go to the next one, that is past perfect tense. It is used to refer an earlier past. Dear students, it is very important. You have to note it down and learn it well. The main use of the past perfect is when two events takes place in close sequence. It is used to show which of the two events happened first. Here are two past events. The patient died. The doctor arrived. We can combine these two sentences in different ways to show their relationship in the past. The patient died when the doctor arrived. So that is, the patient died at the time or just after the doctor arrived. The patient had died when the doctor arrived. The patient was already dead when the doctor arrived. That means in the first sentence, uh, the patient died at the time or just after the doctor arrived. But when we look at the second sentence, the patient had died. So the patient had already died before the arrival of doctor. That is the difference between these two ways to join the sentences. Let us look at the second sentence. The patient had died when the doctor arrived. In this sentence, the first action was the patient died. So thereafter, the second action took place, that is arrival of the doctor. So first action is patient died. So thereafter, doctor arrived. So dear students, when we join two sentences, one is in past tense, simple past tense, and the other one is in past perfect. So then we have to look at the first action. The first action must be expressed with past perfect, and the second action must be in a simple past tense. Once again, when we combine two past actions, the first action must be in past perfect and the second action is expressed in a simple past tense. Let us look at one more example. The train had left the platform when I reached the station. In this sentence, the first action is the train had left. Train already gone before I reached the station. So when I reached the station, the train had left. So here the first action is train had left and the second action is I arrived. Past perfect can be considered as an equivalent of the present perfect. The past perfect sometimes functions simply as the past form of the present perfect. Mary is excited because she has never been to a dance before. That is present perfect. When we change into past perfect, it will be Mary was excited because she had never been to a dance before. The past perfect can emphasize completion when used in the following way. I began collecting stamps in January, and by December I had already collected more than 5,000 stamps. So, in order to denote the perfection of the actions, also past perfect can be used. Unfulfilled hopes and wishes. With verbs like expect, hope, mean, suppose, think, want, etc. to describe things we hoped or wished to do but did not or could not do. That means we planned to do something or we wished to do something, and if we couldn't do, then we can use past perfect. I had hoped to send a letter to him, but I could not send it. So I wished that like that, but I couldn't do that. In such situations, we can use past perfect tense. Note: it is sometimes supposed that the past perfect is used simply to describe events that happened a long time ago. This is not correct. We use the simple past to state such events, as Mahatma Gandhi died on 30th January 1948. If an action happened in the very long past ago or very long time ago, then we use simple past tense. It is not necessary that we need to use the past perfect. Especially if it is a historical fact, we use the simple past tense. Let us go to the next tense, that is past perfect continuous tense. It is used to express the actions in progress throughout a period. She was very tired. She had been typing all day. So depending on the sentence, depending on the context, she was still typing or had recently stopped. Past perfect continuous is used to express an action which was continuing in a period of time in the past. Past perfect continuous also can be used to express the repeated actions as well as to express the conclusion of something also. For example, repeated actions. I was annoyed. Ramesh had been speaking to me every day for a week. So it was a continuing action in the past for a particular period of time. Likewise, drawing conclusions. This tense can be used to show that we have come to a conclusion based on direct or indirect evidence. Her eyes were red. It was obvious she had been crying. So, in order to make conclusions, also we can use past perfect continuous tense. I wind up today, and you have to write 10 sentences each for all the tense: simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous tense. And all these sentences must be your own. You have to create your own sentences and write it in your copy. That will be the homework for the next day. Have a nice day. God bless you all.